Christmas is the biggest Western holiday. China is not celebrating Christmas, but is making decoration, mainly from Yiwu. My name is Mladen and I come from Belgrade, from Serbia. Merry Christmas Yiwu was the first film I made in China, and the first time I was in China was in 2017 for the initial research for this film.
前方到站，义乌站。
It feels cosmopolitan. I've never seen in my life so many expensive cars as in Yiwu. We would stop with our van on a traffic light and you would have, Maserati, Ferrari, Mercedes, Rolls-Royce around you. It feels like a scene from an American film, like Fast and Furious. The biggest wholesale market in the world is in Yiwu. There are 600 factories that produce Christmas decorations, and only one part of this big trade market, of course, is dedicated to Christmas, one part of one floor. During the summer, they work the most. They're finishing the shipments for the Europe and America in October. Then we would focus on the domestic market.
上班没前途。
对，这辈子打工是不可能的啦。
I knew in advance that I needed groups of characters. You need dialogue between people who are kind of intimate together. We have an older couple that used to be farmers that came to the factory to make some extra earnings to financially help their son during his further education.
好。
We have a younger couple that owns the factory. They are basically outsourcing their work to the nearby villages because they don't have enough workers. There is a family who owns one of the factories. Even though their business is very successful, they're still living in the workers' dormitory together with the workers. The father of the family is focused on making their business kind of stable. We have the daughter who doesn't want to continue her education, and this clash between the generations. We have a group of very young characters who are worried about their romantic affairs, concerned about their, big plans for the future.
我结婚的份啊，我也不想跟那太多的交集。
This kind of dynamics of the contemporary China is very clear with this group of characters in this little story. The shooting started in 2018 for 3 weeks. These 3 weeks were scattered over the period of 6 months. Those factory owners were extremely welcoming. And of course, I come from ex-communist country. Most of this stuff about China that people in the more Western West find very interesting is something that was very familiar to me. When I was a kid, I also wore, red scarf. Serbia is one of the only few countries in the world that doesn't need visas for China. So there is some connection there.
基本上就跟我们一样的，这里就是夹在这里了。
I don't speak Chinese, so there was no direct communication between me and the characters. I let these dialogues progress for a longer time because I wasn't sure where to cut. I would just let these dialogues kind of develop, which worked very well for the film because it became very natural in a way. The only screenings were in Rotterdam, beginning of the year. They were all sold out. The audiences enjoyed it. They would be surprised that some of these decorations that they would feel are machine-made are actually made by real people. Christmas, it's a very intimate holiday. It's a family holiday in most of the Western world because most of these characters are migrant workers. They're doing hand work inside of these factories, coloring these Christmas balls and making the puppets of reindeer and Santa Claus. There is this feeling that they miss someone. Miss their hometown or their families, or if they go to their hometown, they miss their friends or lovers from the factories. That's what kind of set the tone of the film, the feeling of melancholy. only this older generation that is willing to work there. The younger characters discussing quitting work in the factory, and because there are other opportunities for all kinds of businesses. When you see the Christmas decoration hanging from the Christmas tree, you can feel the real people who are behind this production, that they have the same kind of concerns about their lives as you do.